Hi, I'm Suhaila. I'm with Temple of Geek. So I'm going to start off with Serah. So Iyanu is a character who goes through a significant journey of self-discovery and empowerment. How did you connect with her character, and what aspects of her resonated with you the most?
Right? So, um, I think it was Iyanu battling self-doubt and growing and realizing this is who I'm meant to be, but how do I get there? And
Mhm.
just that process of growth, um I'm a young woman and adulting is crazy, so I'm also
Yep.
going through that process and I could just connect with Iyanu. I mean, yeah, she's going from being a child to a teenager, but there's so much similarity in that growth process and change and everything that comes with it. And I could just connect with her on that level, and it just allowed me to be able to express the emotions that I knew she'd be feeling, through the words that were, through the dialogue and everything written there. So it was super. It was a match made in heaven. I'm just gonna say it.
Amazing.
And I'm glad I get to play her.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, I'm going to shift over to Adesua. So Olori is a powerful warrior and mentor to Iyanu. How did you balance portraying her strength and her nurturing side?
Um, it, for me, it probably came a little easier to me because I'm a mom, right?
Yep.
When you're a mom, you have to learn that balance. You
Mhm.
teach them and you discipline them, but you're also nurturing and you show them love as well. And
Mhm.
obviously, I was also brought up by a very inspirational, strong woman. As a single mom, she raised myself and my siblings. So watching
Mhm.
her as well and channeling her and all that I learned from being loved and taught by her helped me bring Olori to life. Because she's nurturing, but Olori is also
Mhm.
very strict and she wants
Mhm.
Iyanu to learn because she also understands the responsibility that's been placed on Iyanu's shoulders. So she knows that it's her responsibility to get her ready for life. And as a mom, I know it's my responsibility to get my kids ready for life as best as I possibly can, and then
Mhm.
send them out into the world and
Yeah.
have them figure the rest out. So yeah, definitely my mom, and just because I have the opportunity to be a mom as well.
Mhm.
Those two things definitely helped me bring Olori to life.
That's beautiful. Thank you. And for Stella, so Sewa is a wise matriarch in an ancient wisdom. How did you approach voicing a character with such depth and experience?
Very much like Adesua, I channeled my mother and my sisters. I have four older sisters. I'm the last girl, but my mother and my sisters brought the balance for me. And I see myself doing the same thing for my daughter. I have two daughters, 25 and 22. And you know that
Oh,
in the
wow.
world we live in, raising females in the world is very tough as well,
Hmm.
because on one hand, you're telling them, be bold, the world is not fair. You have to stand your ground, you have to be this. But at the same time, you're
Hmm.
telling them you're a woman. You should
Hmm.
know who your self-worth. You should have value. You shouldn't let people make you feel like you're this and you're that. So all of that in my head played out when I saw the complexity with Mama Shewa, because
Yeah.
she's teaching through emotions and the spiritual connection and the mental state and finding who you are from within, but at the
Hmm.
same time saying you can do it on your own, which is what we usually would say to our children. So Iyanu for me portrays who we are as a people. Being a
Hmm.
part of it, being Mama Shewa and knowing who I am as a mom and as
Hmm.
the youngest of four other women who are strong, but who have to make sure that I grow up to be the woman that I'm supposed to be. All of that together, I had to channel that. And I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to do that. And hopefully people love it.
Yeah, no, I love like the personal experiences you're all bringing into this. Okay, so shifting to Kerri. So adapting Roy Okupe's graphic novel series for animation must have been a very unique experience. What were some key elements you wanted to preserve, and what new aspects did you want to bring into the series?
Okay, so let me just say firstly, credit, of course, to Roy for creating such an amazing world that we could build from. And then Brandon Easton, who was the head writer, who ran the writer's room, like they did a lot of upfront work
Mhm.
of kind of laying the foundation, figuring out the hard parts, really,
Mhm.
about what to bring out from the graphic novel and what to kind of um, leave in because there's again it's just such a rich
Mhm.
world, right? So
Mhm.
and TV is a different medium. So um I think as TV writers, we and it's animation writers, of course, it's a visual medium. So
Mhm.
there's like a lot of stuff, for instance, I remember like when I was writing an episode that featured Toye heavily.
Mhm.
He's like the bookish one, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yep.
And there is like a lot of information to get out to the audience about
Mhm.
the lore of Yoruba land and, you know, what it was like, you know, in the past. And so figuring out like when you're reading the novel, that's just on the page and you're reading it.
Yeah.
When you're watching it, it's really boring to watch someone just read something or to have someone just say a bunch of words, right? So
Mhm.
figuring out how to bring that out in a visually dynamic way was, I think,
Mhm.
some of the most challenging parts, but also some of the most rewarding. So you'll see, you know, when you watch the show, you'll see what I mean
Mhm.
when you know
Yep.
Toye is kind of like letting everyone know um,
Mhm.
about the history, and you know both Toye B, Iyanu, all of them sort of have
Mhm.
different perspectives of that. So trying
Mhm.
to figure out how to really visually show um,
Mhm.
the bookish information
Yeah.
stuff um, was I think one of the things that uh, that differentiates it from the graphic novel, but
Mhm.
also kind of keeps the spirit of it, which is what we wanted to do.
That's amazing. Because yeah, it is different when you're actually like reading through and you can take the time to like, immerse yourself in the lore versus when you're watching it and you're kind of almost expecting like, things to be happening, action things to be happening as opposed to just, getting information in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so going back to Serah. So voicing a lead character in an animated series based on rich Nigerian mythology must be really exciting. Can you describe the process of bringing Iyanu to life and then any challenges that you faced while doing that?
So with bringing Iyanu to life, when I got casted as Iyanu, one of the things that I did was go read all the comic books. I went to read everything about Iyanu that was available because I really wanted to know more about
Mhm.
her and understand the layers to her character. And that's something that you're going to experience when you're watching Iyanu. There's so
Mhm.
much depth to each of the characters. You know, you think you know this character and then you discover a new layer to them.
Mhm.
So, getting into putting the voice with voice work, I always say that giving the character the voice is like 20% of the job. 80% of the
Mhm.
job is the acting. Once you're able to nail the acting, the voice will follow naturally. So I made sure to go read everything I could lay my
Mhm.
hands on about Iyanu, and then I would message Roy when I had access to him and ask him, "Oh Roy, so I wanted to ask this, and this. So
Yeah.
do you think she would do this if she was in this situation?" And then Paula as
Ah.
well. And I'm so glad, they were always available to answer all my questions. And,
Mhm.
that just really helped inform me in all the decisions and choices that I made while acting Iyanu.
Mhm.
Yeah. You asked another question?
Well, I was asking like challenges as well,
Oh, right.
but you can.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Not
Awesome.
much challenges right now, so please go ahead.
Awesome. Cool. All right. I do have 1 minute left, so I'm going to open this up to anybody who would like to answer this question. How important do you feel it is for a show like Iyanu that, showcases Nigerian mythology and has a voice cast that is very much representing, the characters that are there? How important is it to have a show like this be on a global platform?
Huge.
Yeah.
Hugely important for a show like
Yeah.
this to be on a global platform. I mean, just I mean, I'm so excited thinking about when the show premieres and people around the world get to see it. You know,
Yeah.
they'll see a culture, a lot of people will see a culture that's very familiar to them. And
Hmm.
there's a lot of pride in that, you know, of,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is my culture. Look at the way it's like, it's so exciting to see your food, your clothes, your hair, your manner of
Hmm.
speaking, your way of dancing, the music you listen to, all of that
Yeah.
portrayed and depicted for everyone to experience. But then a lot of people will be seeing things they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And that's also
I'm
really,
learning. Hmm.
you know what I mean? And they'll like,
Yeah.
of course, the show is its own story and it's entertainment first, but they'll learn a lot. Also,
Hmm.
people will learn a lot. And what I think is great is that even though a lot of people will see something that's maybe not familiar to them and they'll be learning
Hmm.
about a different culture, they'll still be able to see themselves because they're
Yeah.
just human archetypes. you know,
Absolutely.
these characters. You know, the world is becoming so global, so much more global. And we're getting to
Mm.
really see a lot of each other's cultures through the internet, social media, and all of that. But, you know, you can't learn everything just through
Yep.
that screen. So this is
Yep.
this is like a portal, a huge, amazing
Yeah.
portal that people get to walk into, you know,
Mhm.
as the show is on one of the biggest platforms in the world. So I'm
Yeah.
really,
And I do think that Iyanu would show you that as different as we are, we're actually
Mhm.
quite similar too. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
different parts of the world as well. There's a lot more similarities that we have and things that bring us
Yeah.
together, things that drive us apart.
Mm.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I'm out of time, but this has been amazing, and I can't wait for to watch the rest of the series and for everybody to see it as well.
Thank
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Suhaila.